y'all? Y'all already know what up, y'all. It's BX Juice. I'm not a blood or a crip or none of that shit. I pop off regardless. I'm a Bronx kid. You heard? Welcome to Regular Real Shit Music TV. I'm your host, BX Juice. What up? Y'all already know, man. Real quick, I want to say thanks to the people that have been tuning in with Regular Real Shit Music TV, you know what I'm saying, and rocking with my shit, you know what I'm saying. I appreciate the views that I'm getting. Remember, like, share, subscribe, you heard? I appreciate y'all riding with me and rocking with me, and especially with the music and the glitches and stuff like that. Y'all already know those Regular Real shit, so I don't edit out nothing. And thanks for respecting that and rocking with me still. I appreciate it. Yo, today I want to get into relationships, exes, and new partners. You heard? That's what I want to talk about today, man. It's crazy. This is one of them ones. Yup, this is one. Um, I want to start by saying, you know, when I was a teenager, I wasn't, you know, that's when I first started out. You know what I'm saying? Really, you know what I'm saying? Knowing what I'm doing and all that shit. You know, now, bagging girls and shit like that. Um, I didn't really. I was just, me and my niggas, Rocky and all of us and all my peoples, Hustler, Mike, all of us, whoever it was, Guns, my brother Kev, K-Son, whoever it was, you know what I'm saying? We used to go to the mall and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? The mall was right there because we on 163rd and Sherman. You know what I'm saying? The mall was right there by the courthouse and all that. So, we used to go over there and shit, just walk over there. You know what I'm saying? To go bad girls going back in the days. You know how it was over there in the mall and all that. The fucking the food court and all that. Going there, try to bag girls and shit like that. But that's what we used to be doing, shit. I used to always talk to any girl, nigga. I wasn't even fly nothing. I didn't give a fuck though, and I used to bag them too. You know what I'm saying? Niggas, my crew know. You know what I'm saying? They see Julius talking to that girl, I'm getting the kiss on the cheek, son. Straight up and down all the time. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no playing. You know what I mean? So at that age, I was, I was liking girls a lot. You know what I'm saying? So started getting into, I was just getting pussy and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Not no grown woman pussy. You know what I'm saying? Not yet. You know what I'm saying? But girls going to girls' houses. You know what I'm saying? Their parents ain't there. Just their little sister there. They letting me in. You know what I'm saying? I come in 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Beat it up. You know what I'm saying? And I was young too. 15, 16 doing this. Just, and so I got my little, fair share of shorties, you know what I'm saying, as a young kid and shit. But I ain't have no girlfriend, so I wasn't in no relationship. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know about no relationship yet. You know what I'm saying? I just was bagging girls and shit like that, and trying to get pussy as a teenager. It's only one person that is only one girl that I was chasing for a long time when she moved to the block and all that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only one girl that I used to take punishment from. Punch me, slap me, all kind of shit she used to do. And I didn't care, yo. I liked her. You know what I'm saying? I didn't give a fuck. I liked her. So I was like, fuck it. I take slaps and shit like that. But where all that shit came, kisses and shit came with that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I got a lot of kisses. Not no one. A lot of tongue kisses. It was, it was about that when you was a teenager, really, with girls. Me, especially, I only kissed girls that I thought was pretty. And this girl to me was really pretty. So, and I, and I always wanted her to be my girlfriend. So, you know what I'm saying? I ain't mind taking punishment from her. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I was always able to be around her and shit like that, come inside the house whenever I wanted to, and all of this and that. You know what I mean? So, I was good, and I was so that, and being able to do that, you know what I'm saying? I was always around her. I was always able to go in her room, chill with her, hang out with all that stuff all the time. I was just in her room all the time. Um, and and this is before I became her boyfriend. You know what I mean? Um, And but you know, but and then so when she finally let that ride one day, yeah, I let that ride. She told me, "Yo, what's up? You gonna let me be your what?" Yeah, I let that ride. I was happy, kid. I ain't gonna lie, I was happy. um, so that's the first. That's my you can say my first relationship that I've been in. You know what I'm saying? And that was dope. You know what I'm saying? Because I got the girl as a teenager that I wanted to finally be with after maybe like a year or two of all of that crap hits and shit. But I finally got with her, and that was my first relationship that I've been in. I liked that relationship, but I had ended up going to jail, you know, and at that time I ain't have money and none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure she liked me for me. You know, I ain't have no fine clothes. I wasn't my hygiene wasn't up, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really, you know, as a teenager, you know, wasn't paying attention to that, but I'm gonna talk about that in another video. Um but yeah, you know, she still gave me the chance to be my, you know, to be my girl and me to be her boyfriend. And that's what happened. We were together for like a year or two. You know what I'm saying? I got locked up in PA. She was there with me. You know what I'm saying? Relationship. So this is my first relationship, even though we're young. But that was my first relationship. I got locked up in PA. She was there for me. You know what I'm saying? I was always calling. And you know that shit. Every time I called, she was right there to get my phone calls. I can't front about that. No matter what time I called, if I told her, we spoke, I told her that night, yo, I'm gonna call tomorrow at such and such time. She was there. No matter if and I used to call 2-3 times a day. So boom, and she be there. You know what I'm saying? Wherever I tell her, or stay there, wait for me to call back, or whatever. But she always was there to take my call. Um, and yeah, she did my bid with me. She did that bid with me. I did a year in PA. She was with me. You know what I'm saying? She ain't have money like that, but she did try to send me a little bit of money if she could. Probably most likely through Ann, not through Ann, but through her. However, she got her little ends with her moms or whoever. But she did try to look out for me and shit. And I say Ann, my sister, God bless her, because maybe Ann probably said, "Oh, I got a couple of dollars to give to him." You know, I don't know. I wasn't there, but I did get a little bit of money on, you know, here and there. Not a lot, but here and there. And she stuck with me through that. Came home, you know, whatever. But like I said in my other stories, you know, that my Rikers Island story and all that. You know, I had to go back up after I came from locked up for being locked up in PA. I had to go back upstate, and she was there with me through that too. You know what I'm saying? I respected that. You know what I'm saying? Up there, she was getting, she was getting me packages and all that. She was looking out for me. I can't lie. And the phone call, she always was there too when I called. So that's a fact. Both of my bitches, she held me down, went through it with me. I used to have her pictures and shit up on the wall and all that in my cell and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's my girl showing niggas and shit. But yeah, you know, so that was my first relationship, man. You know, when I got out, you know, I heard some things that I didn't like or whatever the case may be after I came from up north. We were still together for a while. Maybe probably by another, let me say, maybe we were together again about for another 8 months, probably 9 months, maybe. And like I said, when I was locked up, I heard some shit I ain't like, whatever the case may be. So at that time, it bothered me a lot because this is the girl, like I said, that I went through a lot of shit to get with her, and she finally let me be her boyfriend. And we was teenagers, so um, you know, that bothered me when I heard whatever I heard. So you know, and it stayed with me. Even though when I got out, we were still together. I still stayed with her and all that, but still, you know what I mean. So you know, when I got out, you know, we didn't stay together after that for too long. I said that shit bothered me a lot. You know what? I'm still young and shit like that. So eventually I broke it off. You know what I'm saying? And that was that. I went my way and she went hers. And because our families was connected like that, you know, I guess it wasn't really, we didn't have to go through all the beefing and all that. We didn't do all that. You know what I mean? And we just went our separate ways. You know what I'm saying? Plus, once that happened, I was like basically off the block. You know what I'm saying? Out of my hood and shit like that. I was fucking with new hoods and shit like that, knowing people other places and shit. So I wasn't really coming to 6th Third like that. Running in Parkchester and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And other places and shit. But yeah, we broke up and I moved on. You know, and from there I wasn't really. And from there it was just fucking bitches and bagging bitches, and that's it. I wasn't being in no relationship or nothing of that. But those are relationships too. It's just not that type of relationship I'm saying, but all relationships with anybody, people amongst people, it's some kind of relationship. Whether it's just a relationship, whatever, it's all everything is a relationship. So, but in this relationship, I'm talking about being with somebody and having a significant other. You know what I'm saying? That you know, intimate with and stuff like that. Um, so I wasn't with nobody. I wasn't making nobody my girl. I was bagging mad girls and doing all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And but I wasn't getting in relationships. You know what I'm saying? Um, 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 like I told y'all, one of my other joints. You know what I'm saying? I think if you was watching, if y'all seen, jumped in an apartment and all that. When I got jumped in an apartment, I'm telling y'all, if y'all seen that, you know what I'm saying? If y'all tuned in and y'all seen that, me what I'm saying in there, then yeah, and I met that girl right there. I met that girl, and that's probably like besides my first teenage love shit, that probably was relationship shit. That probably was my this was my real first relationship with an older woman than me. You know what I'm saying? In a relation, then we decided to get in a relationship. Even though we decided to get in a relationship, I still was kind of young, so I still was trying to play games and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but that girl right there, that's the one I had met, and so that probably was like my second relationship, because all my life, besides my first girl, like I said, I was a teenager. I wasn't really focused on dealing with nobody after, before her as a teenager, and then after her, not really until I ran into this girl, and that was my second relationship. And like you already heard what I said about with that, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I wasn't really, you know, fully committed and shit like that, like I was supposed to, as a grown man supposed to. Instead of playing, I was still playing kid games, right? Um, so, so I started learning about relationships, and that right there, like I said in my video, girls buying you stuff and all that, but she's only buying you shit because you in a relationship with her. You see what I'm saying? Relationships is crazy, man. Especially when you're not fully committed to a person. You know what I'm saying? You still trying to play games and all that, and that's how you can get caught up in a lot of things. And especially not thinking or thinking with this head and not thinking with this head and not with this head. You can get caught up in mad shit, especially if you're in a relationship. And relationships to me, after I went through that relationship with this girl, her buying me shit and all of that, like I said, if y'all was tuned in, y'all heard what I went through. So after I went through that, and like I said, taking pictures with other girls and shit like that, and she buying me shit, I'm taking pictures with other girls, and you know what I mean, she finding the pictures and shit, seeing me and the shit that she just bought me. That could bring that type of shit. I understand now as a grown man, that shit bring problems. You know what I'm saying, in a relationship. You know what I mean? And if y'all don't respect each other, or if you don't, then I don't know what she was doing, because not after a while. I'm pretty sure in the beginning she was into me because she liked me a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm a nigga that girls like. You know what I'm saying? So I know she was into me a lot. You know what I mean? And that's why she ended up buying me shit and doing all that. So I understand. You know what I mean? And like I said, I was the one that wasn't fully committed in this relationship. And that's why I'm here talking about relationship exes and new partners. Um, and we went through what we went through. You know what I'm saying? A lot of bullshit we went through because I'm not being faithful. I'm not fully in the relationship like, she thought I was, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. So I'm still wanting to run around and do all that stuff. That caused a lot of fucking problems. And like I said, if you tuned in, that's why I don't know if she set me up or not. You know what I mean? Because I was doing a lot of dumb shit I had no business doing. Not nothing. Nobody should set nobody up. I'm not saying that she did. That's why I said I don't know what y'all think. But shit like that. That's why people end up, in a relationship fighting. You end up, the girl might end up calling her brothers or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Or the man might end up calling his sister to come, or girl that he rock with to come fight her. All kind of shit be happening. You know what I'm saying? In a relationship, but you don't respect a relationship. And those things are not cool. You know what I'm saying? Because you're supposed to like each other or love each other, whatever y'all tell each other. So though, other people get dragged into your relationships. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about me, but I'm also, when I'm talking to you, I'm speaking in general. I'm not personalizing nothing with nobody out there. Just all of us as a whole and what we go through in relationships. I'm just pointing the finger at myself right now. So all that stuff right there plays a big part in relationships, and when it's not going right, things like that can happen. And a lot of times if your relationship ain't working, especially if y'all at the end of that shit, you never know who she talking to. She never know who you talking to. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time people start talking to other people while they still in the relationship. So that, and that person's going to end up being your replacement, man or woman. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? If you're a guy, and he might be talking to some other female that he been talking to while he's with his girl and shit like that. So she'll become a replacement, and if not a replacement, for men end up cheating and dealing with this girl, and depending on how your relationship with this girl is, if you're living with her, that's a big thing, because now you're living with a girl and you in a relationship. So trying to go out, you know what I'm saying, going out and because I guess, I don't know, you're tired of somebody or something like that, or whatever it is we go through when we ready to separate from somebody, but we still got them around, or we still in a relationship. Sometimes you just don't know how to tell a person that you want to go, and that's a lot of problems too right there. You should always be able to tell somebody, if you don't want to be with them no more, this is the things that you should do. But these are the things that happen. So if you in a relationship and y'all living together, then look, you going out, staying out, and doing all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that causes problems in relationships all the time. People fighting and carrying on and all that shit, man. And sometimes be outside with it. Niggas choking girls on the car, girls running up and slapping it. All kind, relationships is ill. like the shit with Black Thought, him and Erykah Badu song. If you were worried about where, I've been to who I saw, that song right there. Relationships get ill, no doubt. So relationships do get ill, and so those things happen. And for me, that was like being with her. That was my first relationship, and seeing a woman buying me shit, and I'm thinking I'm the man because I'm hitting the pussy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's real right there. You know what I'm saying? You get a big head and shit, especially when you just starting to, I was getting pussy before, but this girl I bagged was like older than me, 28. I was like 20 something, like 20, probably like 22 or some shit. I don't know. I forgot. I think she got me by a couple of years or something like that. So I thought I was the shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what how I'm able to tell my stories and shit like that. Cause that's what she showed me, buying me shit and all that. I'm over here thinking, cause I'm fucking her and shit like that. So I'm thinking I'm the man and shit like that. I'm take her money, but I'm still not being faithful. I'm going out and doing all that. So I'm no different from nobody. And so we all go through this. So that's relationships. So for me, once I seen that, being in a relationship and women can buy you something, girls buy you shit and all that, and but they want to control you a little bit in some kind of way too. Even though you're in a relationship, they want to control you like that. I guess it's not control. I think it's, you know, but let me be real. Of course, if you finding out nigga ain't being faithful to you and shit like that, you gonna want your shit back. Women, they emotional. So of course she, you know, she wanted to take her shit back from me, shit she brought me and shit. Like, I understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand because of what I was doing in a relationship. So, you know, and going through that, that's what made me, that set the tone for me in my life to say, you know what? I don't want girls buying me shit. You know what I'm saying? Just take, you know what I mean? I'm just going to just take this dick, man. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them buying me shit. I don't want nothing from you. I just want that. And so for me, you know, that's as I went on, and like I said, that's the second relationship. The first relationship was serious, but I was younger, 16, 17. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So in this one, I was a little older, in my 20s. So, you know, I'm going on. And yeah, I had to be like in 21, 22 around that time dealing with this girl because I ain't have Romello yet. Because, like I said, I was running around in Parkchester. So by the time I, you know, as I went on, met my excuse me, met my baby mother and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, this relationship that I got into was a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? And cause she was way older than I was. Shit, I was 24, and my baby mother was 34. You know what I'm saying? So, and she had an apartment. She had a son already, 8 years old at that time. So to me, when I met her and got with her in Parkchester, it was like, you know, I was like, oh, okay. And you know, I got a grown woman here. You know what I'm saying? I'm a young kid. This is what I'm thinking in my head, like, damn, I got a grown woman. You know, she feeling me and shit like that. And again, in relationships for men and women, I don't care how old you are. You know what I'm saying? Women be attached to young niggas, B. Period. I seen that. I was a young nigga at one time. And they get attached to that. For the sex, really. Cause I ain't have shit. I just came from up north, upstate. I was just, and when I met my baby moms, I was just getting on parole. You know what I mean? So I was already on parole. I was only on it for like a year when I maybe a year or two when I met her, my baby mother. So and then through that relationship, I got to see that type of stuff. You know, this older woman than me, she got an apartment and stuff like that. But but even after a while, when I coming out of teenage years, you know, sneaking in girls' houses and shit like that, and they let me in their house when their moms is going, I gotta go at a certain time. I got tired of that shit, man. That's what prompted me to wanting to start bagging older chicks, man. I was saying to myself, I gotta get girls that got apartments, man. That's what started registering with me. And so, you know, so jumping right back to my baby mom. So being with her showed me something way different. You know, I'd been with my first girl as a teenager. Then I got with this girl in my 20s, like, you know, and buying me stuff and all that. So I got to see what that was like in a relationship. Because now these the only two relationships I had. So with her, my baby moms now, you know, I got to see, okay, she want a young nigga. Because she already was dealing with a nigga or whatever, giving her money and all that, I guess. Whatever. I ain't give a fuck. You know? And that's usually how it is. Young nigga get a bag of older girl, older female. This is probably what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Especially the kid ain't got shit. The dude ain't got nothing. I ain't have nothing. I ain't have no apartment, no nothing. And I was even, at that time too, I had started working for $35 a day. That shit was weird because my PO, I had to do it. My PO sent me down there to this thing, and that's what I was doing. So I didn't have shit. She had everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking like, damn, so I got to see that. And being with her changed my whole thing. You know what I'm saying about because after being with her for a little while, we loved each other too. I know she loved me. Um, it was the beginning. There was no problems. You know what I'm saying? She wanted me there in Parkchester. She was about to move. At that time, yo, I'm ready to move. Yo, I want you to wanted me to come with her. Like I said, they be wanting you to come with them. They be wanting you to come over and all that. And don't be wanting you to leave. She ain't want me to leave. That's why I felt like, oh, this is my house now. I'm with her. So like I said, she was moving out of Parkchester and shit, about to move over to Story and all that, and Elder. And before she moved, she got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? My first son, Romello. So, we loved each other. Like I said, she loved me. I know she did, and I loved her. And me again, my youngness, me being young, man. I was committed to her though. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't doing what I was doing with the last chick, buying me stuff. I wasn't doing that. I said, oh, I ain't going. I don't need to go nowhere else. I wasn't looking for girls or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's my first time having a child, my son. I wasn't trying to deal with no other girls. And as time went on, being, like I said, a combination of me being young and her being the age that she is, I guess I started feeling like, as a younger dude, I started feeling like, dang, man, I just feel I'm missing what I used to do. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to dealing with different girls and stuff like that, and and being in a relationship, you start seeing each other's attitudes, and in the beginning, like I said before, every relationship is good in the beginning. Oh yeah, yo, this is some sour zittles. You heard? Fire. But everybody, everybody start having, everybody, it's all good in the beginning for everybody. When everybody first meet people, it's always all good in the beginning because it's about the sex. It's about, oh, this person is new. So it's always fine in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? In any relationship with anybody. Some people make it through, but a lot of people break up a lot of times, and get back together. Some people don't get back together at all. But it's always good in the beginning because you're not really, all you focus on is sex and this new person and having fun and and she likes you and all that shit. So nobody really, you know, so nobody really focuses on, well, not that you don't focus on it, you don't see nobody's actions yet. You don't see who they are yet because it's new. You don't see nobody's attitude. Nobody see your attitude. To dislike something that you might not like or whatever the case may be. So, but you never see that as good. That's why she got pregnant fast like that. And she wanted me to go with her. She wanted me to move with her. She told me that, yo, I want you to move with me. Can you come in and move with me, right? And it wasn't more like, you come in and move with me, right? It was like, you come in and move with me. Of course, you're pregnant now. Of course, I'm going to come move with you. So we wound up moving to Elder and stuff like that, man. It's my third relationship. You know what I'm saying? My third relationship, man. And it was good for a while. But like I said, I started seeing her attitude and stuff like that. And she started seeing my attitude. And I guess if I was to her, I might have been lazy. Cause I ain't gonna lie. It was hard for me at that time. Coming from upstate, I'm on parole. I'm still mad young. I never really had no job like that. The messenger job was the first job I had ever in my life. And it was around that time that I met her. But when I met my baby moms, I wasn't working no more. You know what I'm saying? That girl already that I was with the last time, I was working. I met her. I was doing messenger work. I just came home 2000. So I was doing a little something at that time. But when I got with my baby moms, now I'm on parole for like a month. A year, sorry. I'm on parole now for like a year. Um, you know, so when I went, I didn't have no job at that time when I met my baby mom. I had that $35 day job shit because my PO sent me to. So I ain't have shit, man. She had everything. Um, but she still, like I said, she wanted me to come with her. She let me get her pregnant, knowing that I'm young and don't have nothing and anything like that. So so I wound up going with her, and like I said, things wasn't we wasn't really seeing eye to eye no more like that. I started doing bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Because I used to be sitting in the house all the time, and that, as a younger guy, that got boring to me. Sitting in there and like, yo, I'm not, we don't really, even though Romello is being born, but she's pregnant, we having problems because I'm now it's like I wanna leave her. I'm on parole now. By the time we moved to Elder, shit, I probably was on parole for like 3 years. Now, by the time we moved there to Elder, I had 2 years left, or 5 years parole, and being in this relationship with her, and you know about to have a kid and stuff, and I didn't want to be with her no more. A lot of dumb shit I was doing too, you know what I'm saying? So, and I know she just wasn't putting up with that. She got tired of that, you know what I'm saying? And you cheating or whatever you doing, girls calling here, okay. So I guess but she was pregnant, so I guess she still wanted me to be there because of course I'm the baby's father. But we going through all these problems, you know what I'm saying? And I'm on a new block. I meet new people, which is my brothers, you know what I'm saying? Dice Game Dave and all these, my whole elder niggas, my whole blackout team, you heard what I'm saying? So I meet different niggas, so now I'm outside. I'm still young, so I'm outside, you know what I'm saying? And she in the house pregnant a lot. Yeah, and and we started having problems and stuff like that. We started arguing, doing a lot of arguing a lot. Like I said, girls trying to call my phone and all that. I'm sleeping and shit like that, and hear this girl call my phone because of course, when you cheating, you young, you ain't paying attention. This girls can call your phone at any given time. You know what I'm saying? And you sleeping, I'm sleeping. She up before me. You know what I'm saying? See my phone ringing, she answering, all kind of that shit was, that shit is crazy. Relationships get ill, and it's about what people do. And this is the stuff that I was doing because I got tired of I didn't want to really be with her no more, even though she was pregnant. But I was gonna make sure I see my son born, and I did. I just didn't want to be with her no more like that. I finally got off parole. And I'm still over there. But, even though, like I told her, when I get off parole, I'm leaving. I ain't gonna be with you. I ain't gonna fuck with you. I want to go about my way. Even though you're pregnant, I don't want to be with you. When I get off parole, I'm out. So when I got off parole, that's basically what I did. I was going back in the street now. Now I was like, I'm out. I have my Puerto Rican people across the way. You know what I'm saying? My peoples, and I could go over there and always have meals for me over there. I always got cooked meals for me over there. You know what I'm saying? It was my people, for real. So I was going over there a lot and staying over there. I could stay anytime I want to. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it was a lot of shit, but I was going over there, and I was, wasn't, and that was right. My baby mom was right away. You know, God bless T. You know what I'm saying? She had her car. You know what I'm saying? Because Dana was pregnant. So I got out of there because I'm off parole. And like I told her I was gonna leave, so I got out of the house, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still coming back and forth. Of course she ain't with nobody. So she pregnant. And she got her other son. Keith was 8 around that time. So, you know, she ain't got nobody. So I'm able to come back in and, you know, and stuff. Plus, of course, I gotta come in. I'm bringing her food and stuff. Like, even though I ain't want to be with her no more, and I kind of broke it off, but didn't. I don't think it's not that I broke it off. It's just that I started doing shit, and I started like I told him, like, you know, I wanted to move on once I was getting off parole. You know what I mean? So I started cheating and doing stuff out, being outside and doing shit I had no business doing while she's pregnant, and she was about to give birth soon. And like, so around that time when she was about to give birth, I left the house. I just was coming out, bring her something to eat every now and then or whatever. Had got my first little motorbike, little moped back, the first one that started dropping. And I got me one and shit like that. It was gas, yo. I had it for a little bit. Left it, I was leaving it in the house. Then I left one day, of course, because I'm dealing with this other girl now. I'm dealing with girls and shit like that. So, you know, I leave and you know, I come back, my fucking bike gone. She told me that the fucking the the fire department came in and took it and all this and that. So I was like, all right. So of course, me being young, don't really have nothing. I cherish that bike shit. I was mad as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Um, and you know that made me more mad at her, and made me not want to deal with her even more. You know what I'm saying? So I really was out the house, you know what I'm saying? But I was still there, like I said. She had the car, you know what I'm saying? And you know, when she went to the house, she wound up me not being with her and not being in the house all the time now because I'm out now. You know, I didn't know when she went to the hospital. But of course she called me, I forgot who called me, and let me know she was in the hospital, whatever. So of course, they took me to the hospital. Our Lady of Mercy, that's where Romello was born. You know, she took me up there. I seen my son born. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was going to do. Um, I stopped smoking and everything so to see him born because I didn't want him coming into the world seeing me high and shit, eyes red. So I stopped smoking for that little 4 months or whatever, and I seen my son born. I was there for her my first time, like I said, relationship. That's my first time eating her food because she ain't wanted it. You know what I'm saying? In the hospital, the food that they give her, and you know, seeing my son, having them bring my son down to her, and I love that. Even though we wasn't together and we was having these problems, I really loved that. It was a good time for me. That was special to me, and you know, we hugged and do the things we had to do at that time because we had our son. I was happy about that, and I was glad that I was there to see him born, like I said I was. So yeah, man, that's relationships, you know, and then and it's you know, she got the baby now, but now time passed. We've been over there for a couple of years now, so now she's ready to move again. She about to move to Boston Road. So you know, of course now I'm there in the house, even though I girls done called the house and all kind of wild shit by now and all of this and that. But I'm still there because my son is born now, so of course I'm gonna be there, helping her and I did all that. I changed diapers. I stayed up. I was up sleeping, holding my son, falling asleep, trying to feed him. I did all of that. Let her sleep, get my behind up, and while he's crying, get up, go get him. All that. I did all of that stuff. I ain't just sit there and let her do everything. I did that for my son. So and you know, I moved with her to Boston Road. You know, but by this time, I was doing a lot of shit I have no business fucking doing. Um, you know, but you know, we went through some shit. You know, I ain't gonna put all of my business out there, but some shit we went through and some heartbreak, you know, on my behalf, cheating and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what prompted me to be truthful with women from now on. From then on, I would say, you know what? When I did that dumb shit, you know, I said, okay, because I you know, being in a relationship instead of, and I wasn't in the relationship, even though I was cheating, I was still in the relationship because she was pregnant. So, and I was still treating it like that when I should have been telling her how I felt. Like, yo, I just want to leave. I don't want to, you know. By the time we moved to Boston Road and we went through all this shit, yeah, now I'm telling her, you know, no, it's, you know, I'm just gonna cheat on you after we went through some bad times on my behalf, shit that I fucking had no business doing, and we went through some shit through that. So after that, it was like she didn't want nothing to do with me no more after that. So then I was telling her like, you know, I'm just not gonna be with you no more because, you know, I'm just gonna keep cheating on you and stuff like that. So it's just best that you know, we break up. Even though I was there with her for long enough for Romello to be like 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I just got the courage finally after the bullshit when I should have had the courage at that time, and then we would have went through what we went through. I had the courage to thin the board by then and say, you know what, I'm just not gonna be with you. I'm leaving you. I told her, yo, this is your house. I understand that you're gonna, you know, I understand that you're gonna move on. Especially if I'm telling you I want to leave you and I'm not gonna be with you. I don't expect to tell you that and expect you not to have a man or wanting to get with nobody or have sex or whatever you want to do. I don't expect you not to do that. And I'm telling her this. Like, yo, I know you're gonna move on. That's fine. My only thing was to her was Romello is little still. If you could bring a nigga, whoever you want to deal with, you could bring him inside your house. Just bring him in when your kid is sleeping, and then make sure that person's gone, but before your son wake up, so that way your son never met this person. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, if the person is decent enough, if that's what you want to do, if you want to bring somebody in here, if that's what you want to do, then at least make sure the person is decent because you're still bringing them around your sons. You have two. Kiefer's a little older by this time. Kiefer's like at least, I want to say, maybe 12, 13, around that age. So, you know, if you want to, pick somebody, make sure if you want to do, because this is your house, you can bring whoever you want to bring in here. And if after I'm going, I can't tell you nothing. So, do what you want to do. I understand that. And this is why I was telling her that, I'm leaving and that's that. But if you do that, I'm not going to no longer be able to come over because at that time I was coming over, spending the night with Romello. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't dealing with her. The only time I go in the room, we'll smoke. Because of course we got weed, so we'll smoke and talk like that. And, we try to stay away from the bad times. But, of course we're going to argue about that here and there because we're not together and whatever. But she didn't get with nobody right away and stuff like that. So I was still able to come to my son and sleep in his room, help him clean up his room and stuff like that, and play games with him. And then after that, we could time for bed. Romello's like 4, getting ready for bed. I get into bed with him and we go to sleep. And I wake up in the morning, get my son dressed and all that stuff, and take him to school. So I was able to do all that stuff as long as she didn't have anybody. And I told her, and she knows this. So, like I told her, once you get somebody, that's it. I ain't gonna be able to do this no more because I'm not no hating ass motherfucker. So this is relationships. This is what we go through in relationships. You know what I'm saying? Me. And I'm not the only one. Plenty of stories like this and worse. So that's what happened in that relation. That's 3 relationships I've been in. You know what I'm saying? And so, and with these relationships, they become, when you break up, they become exes. And they become exes, and you move on, so you end up meeting new partners, right? And with the exes and stuff like that, like, of course, I'm an ex. I'm her ex. I'm not with her no more, even though I'm her baby father. What I want to say about exes and shit like that,
steps, the same ones that caught the attention of Forbes and 100 other publications. So you too can break
exes and new partners, they really don't like each other only on the fact for one thing. Really. It's because, man or woman, it's because I'm getting the pussy now, and or you getting it if it's me, or you getting the pussy now, and I used to get the pussy. That's the only reason why exes and new partners really hate each other and shit. It don't be no other reason. I don't know you, you don't know me. But what I do know is that you fucking my ex-girl right now, or my baby mother, or however that go, and you know, and that new person, that new partner know he used to fuck my girl now. It's the only reason why exes and new partners don't like each other, you ask me. You know what I'm saying? So, which is crazy. But it's understandable, you know? But you learn later on, you know what I'm saying? How to deal with that. So relationships, exes and new partners, you know, again, with relationships and, you know, and you meet new partners, like I said, or exes don't get along, you know, and a lot of times exes meet new partners because a lot of times, baby, like I said, two people have kids with each other or a kid, and then she moves on, got a new man, or, you know, he moves on, got a new woman. So, and sometimes it happens to where people are, you know, live around the same area and still live around the same area, even though after they broke up, they still live around each other, or people keep people's family be, you know, and cool with people's family, so you end up staying around like that and stuff like that. So that's really how, you know, but the main thing, like if you dealing with a girl on your block and y'all all know the same people, excuse me, and y'all all know this, y'all all know the same people, that's when it gets bad. You know what I'm saying? Because now you still around this block, or you still around, you know, so you still seeing this person. Now this person got a new partner. Now your ex get to see, oh, she dealing with this. Oh, that's her new man, or that's his new girl. They get to see that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like I said, y'all around the same way, it's bad. That's when it gets bad a lot, especially if motherfuckers, because adults act like kids. So it's gonna be bad. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's like that. You're still around the same vicinity and place that your people you dealt with before and all that. So you're going to see this exes and partners. But the truth is, the only reason why exes and new partners hate each other is really because of that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you're dealing with her now, and I used to deal with her. And then if you have a kid with the person, oh, okay, that's my baby mom, you're around my kid. Y'all understand that. You know what I'm saying? But that might be too. That might too be the case too, depending on how you hear how if this person is treating your child. But you know, like I said, a lot of stuff comes out of that, and that's the really reason why exes don't like new partners and new partners don't like exes. Only on that reason, because what we have in common is the woman, or the opposite way around. All they have in common is the man. That's the only reason why. Yeah, man. Um, you know, but at the end of the day, we're supposed to, you know, well, let me keep it on me. As I've been through my relationships, those three, because those are the only three relationships that I've been in, besides the one that I'm in now. Shout out to the Chocolate Mary Poppins, you heard? Besides the one that I'm in now. Those relationships show me, man. You know what I'm saying? Different things I learned out of different relationships that I was in. And like I said, so once you get to a certain age and your ass is fucking grown, you gotta learn how to leave shit alone and let shit be. and respect what people is doing, especially if you still, or you know, because some people is connected through family and stuff like that. They still, you know, oh, I'm still cool with your mom, or I'm still cool with your brother, or I'm still, you know, but we broken up. Shit like that. You know, a lot of stuff could come out of that. A lot of stuff could happen when people's jealous and shit like that still. You know what I mean? So, and like I said, with exes and new partners, that's the only reason why they don't like each other, really. It's because you have that one person in common. You're new, I'm old. Or I'm old and you're new. And we don't like each other because of that. We both know what it is. That's ugly, right? But it is what it is. That's how it goes. But thank you, y'all. Y'all already know it's BX Juice. I'm not a blood or a crip or none of that shit. I pop off regardless. I'm a Bronx kid. Yo, thank y'all for listening and tuning in with me with this regular real shit music TV. You heard? Shout out to the Chocolate Mary Poppins and shout out to my brother K-Son. You heard? And shout out to the whole NYC. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Connecticut. You heard? And shout out to all my peoples everywhere. You heard? Fact, yo. It's BX Juice. You heard? Bow.